We got Khalil Mack, got Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, Malcolm Koonce, Baron Browning, Dayo Odeyingbo, Chase Young, DeMarcus Lawrence. We got a handful of notable names here. A lot of guys at the edge rush position. Where do you want to start here? There's a lot of names here that we could start with. You want to talk at the top, or you want to talk some value players here in the edge rush group?
I'll go with the value side of it. And Baron Browning is a player every year who it feels like he shows you just enough to make you believe he can still be a starting caliber player in this league. And these are his numbers right here after he got traded from Denver to Arizona. You see it there, 16th in pass rush grade, 6th in pass rush win rate. I mean, at the very least, there's a good situational pass rusher here. Didn't have a good run defense grade this past year, but had it right around 80 the year before in 2023. So I do think he's a guy. It's been a bit inconsistent. He got traded last year, wasn't great in Denver. I think he was dealing with an injury early in the season too, but he was productive in Arizona. So I could see the Cardinals keeping him, or I think other teams that need pass rush help, right? I think about Atlanta and Carolina in the NFC South going, okay, maybe this isn't a top of market option. We didn't get Josh Sweat at the top of the market, somebody like that. But Browning at maybe $6 or $7 million a year, maybe even a one-year deal, could give you a productive pass rusher for teams that really need multiple answers, and he could be one of the secondary options for them.
Along the same lines, I'm a Baron Browning guy. I feel like he's better than his production has indicated throughout his NFL career. So I feel like I'm always going to continue to believe in him. So I like that call out there, giving him some praise. How about your boy Malcolm Koonce? This is somebody who I felt like you talked about a lot in the preseason. You're like, man, he had a really good 2023. He was this breakout player. 2024, he's going into a contract year. He could be a beast for them along that defensive line that added Christian Wilkins to it. And you're hoping that Tyree Wilson gets better. And obviously Max Crosby is there. And like Koonce was going to be a major part of that group. And then he's got the knee injury early part of September. It's season-ending one. He wasn't able to play. And so, that's a bummer. But this is somebody who had a really nice 2023 season. And so, again, it could be a really good timing for some team to just say, hey, this is a great stand-up pass rusher that we're going to be able to get here. I think about the Falcons, right? The Falcons are a team where they need some more juice at pass rush. But they're not a team that has a ton of cap space, if I remember correctly, where the Falcons at.
No, it's not.
Yeah, they're way lower on the group. They're like 27th, 28th in total cap space right now. They're actually in the red, so they're over the cap at the moment. They need to get cap compliant, but you move some money around. You can be a little bit flexible with certain contracts that you have on your roster. You might be able to go out and say, hey, because Koonce is coming off an injury, we'll get him at a bargain bin price, and he could be great for us as an edge rusher. He could be one of the top edge rushers that we have there, especially if you're not bringing back Matthew Judon. So that's, for an example, a spot that I could see with Malcolm Koonce. But I agree with you. Those two guys I'm very intrigued with of where they are going to land. Khalil Mack, sort of the interesting one at the very top. It kind of sounds like that he wants to come back to the Chargers. He feels like he knows the Chargers are going in the right direction. If he's not going to the Chargers, though, you would think that he's going to some contender. So, is this Washington? Is that a spot for him? Does he go to the Commanders there? Maybe Baltimore, if they have the money to afford him. I think that spot could make sense. Certainly Detroit, we talk about them with an edge rusher all the time. I guess you could throw in Josh Sweat there for those destinations as well. But that's what I think about when I think about Khalil Mack. I still feel as though, especially if the Chargers are going to move on from Joey Bosa, if they're going to get that cap relief, which is like $20-25 million in cap relief, if they cut him, they'll have enough money to bring back Khalil Mack and want him there. But what do you think about him? Do you think he's staying in LA, or do you think he's going somewhere?
I think it's very, very likely that he stays in LA. I think it is going to be a story with the Chargers in free agency. We'll get into the interior guys in a second, but how much of this defensive line can they keep together? Because you mentioned it, likely to cut Bosa, and then the other three guys in the starting four are free agents. So you got an entire starting defensive line that you have to figure out how many of these pieces you're bringing back or not. And the other thing I wanted to mention, because I was thinking about it, we were talking about Malcolm Koonce. I think a good spot for him would be to kind of a buy low thing, and you were talking about teams with not much salary cap space, but the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe just the same way he was maybe the same way he was a compliment to Max Crosby. He could do the same for Micah Parsons. With Matt Eberflus as their defensive coordinator, they're going to switch to a similar four-man front. I think maybe on the other side of Micah Parsons in Dallas, take some pressure off him and keep adding to that pass rush. I think that might help them too.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you become one today.